So you probably missed it, but this morning Apple released two new desktop computers. They are insanely powerful and one of them costs $15,000. Here's everything you need to know about the new Mac Studios in 2 minutes. So on the outside, they're absolutely identical to the previous models of the Mac Studio. If you haven't seen these things before, they're made out of a single piece of aluminum. They're absolutely gorgeous, have great airflow, and have a bunch of I/O both on the front and back. The only semi-outside change is they now all have Thunderbolt 5 up from Thunderbolt 4 on the last model. But what's really exciting is what's changed on the inside. They've released two new processors in this thing. One of them is super practical and I think we're going to see a lot of use case out of. The second one is just absolutely bonkers. The first one it's getting is the M4 Max. This is their highest end latest gen chip, and this thing is an absolute beast. It has 40 GPU cores, this is the big thing, 16 CPU cores, 128 gigs of memory. This thing is a beast. This is more power than pretty much anyone would ever need. And it starts at $1,900 US or $2,700 Canadian. Now, the M4 Max is the one that I got, and I want to emphasize this is going to be overkill for most people. This is literally only for people who are doing bleeding edge heavyweight work, whether that's video editing, rendering, like as their job regularly. The M4 Mini, which is only $600, will do all of those things very, very well if you do them intermittently, but the active cooling and a little bit more GPU power on the M4 Max with the Mac Studio takes you a little bit further if you need it. Now that we've talked about the realistic M4 Max, let's talk about the M3 Ultra. This is going to be so far outside of the grasp of most people to understand. This is the previous generation chip that they've been working on since it released to make it as good as humanly possible, and this thing is insane. So the CPU itself is still crazy efficient, like all the M chips. It has 32 cores, crazy powerful. But where this gets insane is the 80 core GPU and supporting up to 512 gigs of RAM. This isn't storage, this is RAM. This is going to be useful to so few people, but GPU cores and RAM are what's used in a lot of AI applications and like really heavy professional level rendering. Now here's the thing, this thing starts at $4,000 US, which is crazy expensive. If you fully kitted out, it gets up to $14,000 US, but for a $10,000, you can get 512 gigs of RAM and the 80 core GPU. For how power efficient the M chips are, this is likely going to start being one of the go-to solutions for people running small to medium level servers, specifically for things like running local AI models and things like this. People are already using the M4 Mac Minis for this same reason, because they're so power efficient and good at what they do. And I speculate that the M3 Ultra is going to be even better at this when you just break down the dollar per RAM you're getting, the dollar per GPU cores, and just the raw performance out of it. I think these are going to be better value for running those high-end things. I did actually get to see this thing set up in person. They had it set up rendering a whole bunch of professional level footage in like 8K, absolutely insane. That's everything you need to know about the new Mac Studios. In short, the M4 Max is going to be a really good high-end machine for pretty much anybody that does crazy heavy lifting, and then the M4 Ultra is just insanity. I'm gonna be setting up this bad boy in my new office, so stay tuned for that, along with the studio display. I'm so excited to see the setup all come together. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll catch you in the next video. Come with me on a quick day trip to New York to get an early look at all the new Apple products that just got announced. The day started off very early as it's a long flight to New York from the West Coast. The event was early morning in the next day, so I went for a quick run when I touched down, then it was off to bed. Woke up bright and early, got an absurdly expensive coffee and croissant, then it was off to the super secret location. The venue was absolutely gorgeous, and they basically had all the products laid out for us to demo and check out. First things first, the iPad Air got a new update with a new processor. It now has the M3. It also got a new update to the Magic Keyboard. It has a function row now and a better trackpad. Now the new M3 makes this thing an absolute workhorse. They even showcase how you could use it for 3D modeling, which is what I use it for, and they even 3D printed out the model. They know the way to my heart. Then one of the most exciting drops that nobody is talking about, they released two new Mac Studios. Now this gets a little confusing. First they released the M4 Studio Max. This is the latest processor architecture, and it's basically the best bang for your buck for like a heavy duty work machine you can get. This thing is insane. And then they released the M3 Ultra. This is like a top of the line machine that can do pretty much anything for any professional environment. This thing is not cheap, but it has insane graphics power processing, and it can have up to 512 gigabytes of RAM. Showing it being used for like real-time GFX rendering, this thing is crazy. I'm actually going to be picking up one of these studios, so stay tuned for that. And lastly, the belle of the ball, the M4 MacBook Air. I've already talked about this one a lot. Basically, it's by far the best bang for your buck laptop on the market right now. The M4 makes this thing insanely fast, and the price dropped by $100. We also got to see the new colors, including Sky Blue, which I personally think they should have called Sky Gray, because it's definitely more of a steel gray, and I really like this color. This is the one I'm going to be picking up. And then on top of the lower price and better processor, you also get the new camera that can do things like show desk view or track you as you walk around a space. And the cherry on top, it now natively supports dual monitors without any adapter. Keep an eye out for more content on this thing specifically, because I genuinely think it's one of the best value products Apple has released in a while. It was so cool to get an early look at all of these new Apple products. You know there's going to be more content coming around in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.